All right, so here we are. I'm going to try and tell you how to use Roll20 in about 20 minutes or so. Okay, anyway, so I've already gone to the home and created a game. So here it is here. If you want, you can change this. You can edit the image and choose a different file. Just go choose a file, select one from your desktop or wherever it is, and it'll upload into there. So the first things first is you want to make sure you're playing the game that you're playing. I'm playing 5e, so I have it set at 5e. And then you want to go into your settings. And then you go to your game settings, and in here you can find a lot of minor details and things like that that you would like. I always allow people to import their characters just because they can make it on another game and import it in. Game default settings, I wouldn't worry about that. Access in-game compendium, set it to default by the character sheet or 5th edition if you want. Share it with your players, yes. Here you can change the sheet, so there's different ones. You could have a shaped sheet that some people might like better. I usually just go with the Roll20 one because it's similar to the one that is printed out normally. Roll queries. So this just means that whenever somebody rolls, it'll show a certain thing. I usually like to turn it to advantage toggle, so that way it's not always rolling advantage and doesn't confuse people. You can have it auto roll damage or not. I always auto roll damage and crit because it just speeds things up. Everything else you can just leave the same. Unless you want to change things specifically, you can go through this later and determine what you wish. And I usually, one other thing I do is I make sure, where is it? I think here, the game default settings. I usually change name to be always enabled. So when somebody types in their name on their token, everybody can see it and you don't have to go in there and change it every time. That gets a little bit annoying. You can change your grid to be hexes or squares if you wish. I just leave it squares. Then you save, and then you're good to go. So I'm gonna hit launch. All right, so we're in the game. First things first is I like to adjust the settings. Depending on what voice and video you're using, you can scroll through here and scroll down to video and chat options. This you leave, you can adjust your input source where the audio comes out of, and you can change what you want to broadcast and what you want to receive. I usually do video only because I use Discord for voice, so I just do video only here. Click reconnect and it'll show it for you. Everything else you can change where the avatars are located. You can show their size. You can make them tiny, only names, or very, very large. Small is usually pretty good. Unless you have a larger screen, then you can go regular if you have a bit more screen space to deal with. Now, let's start with the most complicated thing first, which is adding a map. All your maps and all your play spaces are going to be up in the page toolbar. So what you want to do is leave the start as it is. This is going to be where you're going to have all of your base tokens, like your monsters, your player characters, things like that. You'll have all your tokens set up here, and then you'll copy them over to the other pages when you need them. So let's just do forest encounter. So you just double click here, and to make the words go through, you hit enter, and they'll save. So right now the players are going to be seeing this space. If you want to just adjust this one without them seeing it, you click on here. So let's start with adding a map. So I'm just going to find a forest battle map. I think I found some good ones earlier. Generally, the bigger um, the size of the image file, the better. You're going to see more detail. It's going to be easier for you to adjust, and it won't look so ugly when you zoom in. So you can't see it, but I saved that to my desktop. And then all you need to do is from your desktop, you just click and drag it onto the play space. You can't see that me doing that, but I just did that, and it'll upload automatically for you. If it's a bit bigger, it might be a bit slower. Okay, so we have our map, but it's on the layer where tokens will go, and we don't want that. We want it to be behind the grid. So what you need to do to do that is right-click the image, go to the layer section, and put it to the map. Now I can't click it, I can't move it, I can't do anything until I go to the map layer, and you can find that right here. See, right now we're in objects and tokens, and you go here and you go to the map and background. So now I can move this, and you just do it just like an image in any other program. You can just click and drag it to make it bigger or smaller, things like that. It's better to usually align it to the left side first, and that way you can shrink this if you wish in the page settings, which I'll show you soon. So if you notice, the grid is not quite aligned, if you can see that. It's not quite lined up. If you try to move it, it's going to snap to the grid. So one way you can do this is you can click and hold it. If they're pretty close, like if you move it and you see they're pretty close, you can click and hold it, and then click and hold, and then press and hold your Alt key, and that'll let you drag it freely, and then you can set it up as close as you can, and then let go of both, and then it should line it up. But if you can see, we're still off by a bit. So what you need to do is align it to the grid. To do that, you need to go here first, and this will make it a lot easier. So you go to your page toolbar, your page settings, and you're going to make your grid really opaque and probably make it like gray or gray black. And now you can really see the grid that we have to work with. So once you've done that, you're going to right click on the map, go to advanced, and go to align to grid. So now it says this tool allows you to quickly size your map background to match the Roll20 grid. So you're going to select a 3x3 grid on the map background you're using. So I'm going to find a space that's fairly open and easy to see the grid. I'm going to use this green space here. So I'm going to start right here, and you're going to put the plus on the plus of the grid, so right where the lines meet, and press and hold it. And you're going to drag it until you get a 3x3 section. And get as close as you can to the other corner of the 3x3, let go, and then hit align to grid. And now we're pretty much smack on. So if you want to do little adjustments, you can do the press and you can click and hold, and then press and hold Alt, and then there, boom, we're nice and lined up. Now you can go back. If you want, you can leave that dark grid, or you can reset it and go back to the way it was before. There. Now we have our grid set up and our map's all good to go. So before you move anything, don't do it. Just hold tight. Head over to your layer bar and then go to objects and tokens once again, and now you won't be able to move the map at all. So now let's do tokens. So I find that the free tokens in Roll20 they leave a lot to be desired. They tend to be top-down views of people, and I find they kind of look weird and skewed. So I found this good website. I think I can never remember the name. I always just type in Token Maker. It's called Token Stamp, and I'll link it in the description or whatever. And this is what it looks like. So let's say I think I might have an image. So if you just want a token, you're going to choose an image. Oh, I have some here from Pathfinder and stuff. I'm going to use this guy that I found, this halfling. And so you just want to make it big. You line it up with the circle. Done. And when you want the token, you just click download over here, save as, and then throw it on your desktop or whatever file you wish. Once you have it saved, then you click and drag it over just like you did the map, and then you have your token. I don't know why that sounds. Anyway, so that's really big, so you can make it small in the grid. Now let's start messing with our tokens. So I like to have like circle tokens because then you can see the character art and it doesn't look like a weird person thing. I just like it that way. So now you have your token. If you click this little box, so this lets you set different visual conditions. You can make them red, like you can have different colors for different conditions. You can have they are paralyzed, or they are like protected or something, or they can fly. You can set different conditions to show up on their thing, on their token. You can go to the gear, and this is where you can edit all their information. You can show their health or AC for different bars. You can adjust auras and things like that. So right now, this character represents nobody. They are just a generic person. So I'm going to make the name Samuel. Okay, and right now he's controlled by everyone. So everybody control him, but you can also make it so that only specific players can adjust that person, which is very nice. Then people can't move your character around, etc. So here we have our token for our halfling paladin. Now I want to actually make that character in the game. So you're going to go up to the top here. So this is the art library. This is where you can see all the other tokens and things like that. And then there's the journal, which is your next most important thing. And here you're going to find your characters, your handouts, and your folders. So I'm just going to make a character, and let's call him Samuel. Okay. So once you have that ready, in players' journals, you can set it to who can see this person. I'm going to set everybody can see them, and they're going to be controlled by me because it's my character. And then if you want that token to be associated with that sheet that you're building now, you're going to click on that token and click Use Selected. So now whenever we click and drag Samuel out, boom, that's who it's going to be. That's the one we want for battles and fights. That's what we want. Hit save. And you can also, if you want, you can add in the art. So you can upload the art. I'm going to do that really quick because I can. And there's the art. Save. And now when we see it over there, this is what everybody else will see. We'll see Samuel. There he is. Now the sheet. So there's a thing called Charactermancer, which is in Roll20, which lets you build your characters step by step, which is super nice. You can make them an NPC or you can edit directly. I'm going to edit directly for now. And I'm just going to leave him blank because we're not going to go through any character creation stuff. A very important thing that I missed out on a lot of the time was click and dragging items though. If you go to this little eye, that's your compendium. So you can see a bunch of SRD content, which you don't have to pay for. It's all free from WotC. So there's not a whole lot, but there is some there. There's the equipment, I think, is the biggest thing. So let's say we want to give him a longsword. So I'm going to go ahead and find equipment if I could find it. I can't because I'm blind. Oh well. So I'm just going to type in longsword. If we search it up, it should show up. Oh, there we go. And now you can just click and drag this into your sheet. And it should, oh, I think you have to have a bar. Okay. Yes, so you have to have an empty slot for it like this. And if you click and drag it into that, it should add it in. Okay, maybe not. Maybe if I do this way. Accepting drop from compendium. Okay, that's strange because this used to work perfectly fine. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I have to have the stats filled out. I'm not sure. I apologize for that. Ignore what I said. But you can do that if you set it up properly. I haven't done it in a long time. I've mostly just doing this. Anyway, there's the sheet. Cool. You have your character. That's his token. I can move him around and attack and stuff. So speaking of attacking, if you want to roll dice, there's two ways you can do it. You can use the dice roller on the side here, and you can click the dice. I can click a d4, and it'll roll a d4 in the chat for me. Or you can click d6. You can do two of them, etc., etc. But if you want to get more technical, you can go to the advanced dice roller down here, click hit, and then this will let you do the basic rolls up top, and it will also let you do an advanced roll. So let's say I have a perception bonus of 3. I can add 3, hit roll, boom, it's there. One other thing you can do with any table and page in Roll20 is you can double click the top and it'll go into like a transparent mode so that it's still there, but it will roll with you, but it won't be in the way. Then you can double click it again to open it back up. So that's one way you can roll. Or you can type in /roll and the dice, d6 plus 4, let's say. Oh, I got a 1. Oh no. Whoopie big dig dong. So you can do that. You can also, if you're a GM, you can type in /GM roll, and that'll give you a secret roll that only you can see. So only GMs will be able to see that. So that is the main stuff. So you have your token, adding maps we went through. You can add more pages. Okay, I'm gonna try and do the base page. So on the start page, I would highly, highly recommend having a set of your player characters here. Let's say here's 1. Let's say there's 2, 3, and another player character is this creepy blue guy. So you're going to have them all here and they're just going to chill. They're going to have all their associations with the people. Oh, see, so I made a mistake. This guy shouldn't be here. I want him to be the character. If I click and drag him out there, there's the token for Samuel. Okay, so now that they're here, you can use your keyboard shortcuts. You can use Control C, or you can right click and go copy. And then let's say they're having an encounter over here. You can Control V or paste them out and they'll just be there. Full health, full everything that they were. Otherwise, you can just select them here. If you're moving directly to another area, another map, you can just go from them from here. So that's the main stuff. So rolling, maps, tokens, dice. Those are the main things. You can use the character sheet through the app. which lets you click on a skill and you can roll it, and then it shows up as athletics. Okay, so right now it's rolling with advantage, and I do not want that. So what you can do is you click this little settings thing. There's lots of stuff here, blah, 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 I believe. Where is it? Maybe it's here. Abilities. I can't remember where it is. Oh, here we go. Roll queries. You can go advantage toggle, and now you can go normal. So now whenever I roll, if I go back to the core, whenever I roll a perception, it'll just give me the straight roll. And all of this can be adjusted. You just have to go in and just edit it yourself, or you can do the character mancer. It'll automatically calculate all of your stats, your armor class. So yeah, that's the basics. There's one other thing I'm going to show is that it is initiative. So there's two ways you can do this. You can manually go and add tokens by right-clicking and clicking Add Turn, and then typing in the roll of the get. Or if you have your character sheet set up and the tokens linked, you can do it automatically. So if I click on him, and then I click on my sheet for him, make sure he's selected, and I click Initiative, it'll roll it for me and add it automatically into the turn tracker. So basically, the more you do, the more you're going to get out of it. Hello, Jeffrey. I am muted on here, so I'm going to go over that. So I'm going to just close up now, and then I'll go through it again with Jeffrey, and that way he can listen to everything. So I'm going to stop now. Thank you.